Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Monday afternoon, March 17th. We are looking at Window Trader's market profile of the ES and the NQ. Well, we had some real nice short covering that began in the afternoon. Got a price spike, however, kind of ended in L&M period as NQ fails to hold trend up, fails to hold the price spike. ES does hold the price spike in one set of singles. Righty also holds two sets of singles and the price spike above D's high. Volume was very light, only 40-something million, 46 million we're at right now. NQ's triple Q's better at 41. The big thing that was accomplished today for me, all three of our indices on the ETFs took out the weekly highs. So the weeklies are back in balance, and I'm calling the dailies up. So a very, very big thing accomplished by the bulls today. Again, it could just be short covering and we roll over again. But for now, the monthlies are down, the weeklies are balanced, and the dailies are up. Somebody asked me, do I think we'll stay in this kind of range until the Fed on Wednesday? Well, here's the thing. I think the low could be in until Wednesday. It depends on how much short covering occurs. If you look at these profiles, right? Just look at this. This is important. So here's last week's 5 days. Anybody who's still short from last week is underwater in ES and NQ. However, look at all these shorts. They're way, way in the money. I made a reference in the room. Some of those shorts might have covered last week part of their positions, and now we're putting them back out up here against these previous highs from last week. So I do believe the market is still incredibly short, and same with NQ. They're all underwater, but these shorts aren't, I can tell you that. So I do think the market is still very short in the longest time frame, which is the monthly, and on the intermediate, which is the weekly. Okay, we just barely put the weekly back into balance. SPY took out the weekly high by 17 cents. Okay, so the market is still short. If they feel nervous, either before the Fed or after whatever the Fed does on Wednesday, then we see what happens. Do we get more vicious short covering, or do we revert back down to what we were doing? All remains to be seen, right? I don't know. We were 8 for 8 wide when we went trend. Had a good day. I blew one of those prop accounts, which I wasn't, well, not happy about it, but they weren't paying me anyway. So, and it wasn't in Q. I would never have done it with my real money with that size and whatever. But I did not think NQ would get the legs it did above the day's high. But again, the market's short. We'll go over everything now. So first off, I had a good day overall. Okay? I was long in A period to get the overnight high in NQ and got it. So remember, I trade my own money first. And I try to get my staple plays. Well, I got one of them with the overnight high. And then I was long in ebb and flow trades because you had value, you had overnight high, and you above, for the most part, the base of the price probe, okay? So A period is good. I did lose on one long in A period on an ebb and flow, pulled back more than I thought, took it off about a 12, 15 point loss. But then I made some more when we backed off to the 144. So A period was a good time frame. B period, was making some money early on ebb and flow longs. We were above the opening. But I actually took a short thinking we would get some. I took the short right before the turnover and thinking we would get A's low. So right on the turnover, there was some tempo to the downside, took out B's low. Excuse me, to start one time framing down, got out of it, and then got in again to take out the IB low. And then there were ebb and flow shorts because now things changed. They had the IB low, they lowered POC, things of that nature. So, but there really was a mixed bag of MGI early on. It really was. I did take a long in F period in NQ to stop the one-time framing down. They weren't getting any traction. C, D, and E went lower. They couldn't get anything. I was surprised we didn't get the overnight 17 wide POC. Started coming up. I took the long to take out E's high. I took, now this is where I blew this account. Started the short in H period, thinking we would have an afternoon rally high. When it kept going up, I thought ES, when they got their IB high, would roll over and not go trend, so NQ wouldn't get it. Well, obviously that wasn't the case, and I blew that account. So that wasn't too nice, but I'll live with it. I took a long in ES in K period because SPY was going for last week's high. Remember, I don't back adjust. So I was looking at SPY's high from last week. And I made about 3.5 points as SPY finally got last week's high. And then I took a long, one more long in NQ in L period when they filled the first set of single prints and made small on that. And then once we started going down, I was like, that's it, game over. I'll just watch. I'm not sure if we're going to hold the base of the price spike or not. NQ did not. ES did. So that's what you get with short covering. When they walk away, there's no floor underneath. So it will be interesting going forward. I think the majority of last week's shorts should be gone. If you're still in it, you're crazy. Right? Especially the ones down here. So in ES and NQ, last week's shorts have been strung out. But the market is still very short in the bigger picture. Do not forget that. So there's no guarantee we keep going higher unless the Fed says something that kind of sparks another short covering rally. Again, volume very light in the 40s. This isn't the vicious short covering I thought we could potentially get. Remember, we've been talking about that. But it wasn't it. There was no real, I mean, it grinded higher pretty good, but there's no real tempo and certainly no volume. Chart-wise, I'm not going to go over the indices, the destinations because I'm in bigger increments. So here's the monthly in ES. It's still down, right? We're more than halfway through the month. It is down, plain and simple. They have work to do. But the weekly in SPY took out last week's high. Not by a lot, but it doesn't matter. So to me, it's back to balance. How big is the balance? I don't know yet. It's only day one. Let's see the next 4 days. Do we go higher and we make it a 3-week balance, or do we go lower and it's only a 2-week balance? I don't know. And the daily is up. Again, we didn't take out last Monday's high by a lot, but a lot of people might have been looking at this as just a 4-day balance, not encompassing last Monday. So since I encompassed it, I'm going to say we're up now since we took it out, even though it wasn't by a lot. We are making inroads on the 200, still below it though. ES, NQ, SPY, triple Q, and IWM all below it. But again, what happens right now? Are we going to get more of a spark up above the 200 in SPY? If you do, like I said, there's money on the sidelines. Maybe you bring buyers in. If you can't get above that and roll over, or maybe the selling isn't done yet. The monthly would still be down. And we'll see what happens at the bottom of the balance on both the weekly and the daily. Hope you had a good day trading. Again, good ranges, so that's going to give us more to play off of tomorrow. Rest up. Thank you for liking and subscribing to this channel. And we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.